Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats, weave and edges because we are about to experiment. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you just so happen to be stopping by for the very first time, thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Donella and this is my world of beauty here on YouTube. Whenever I try these experiments, for lack of a better word, I normally try them on my own first. The products I need to put in, take out, see what brush or beauty sponge might work better, which one might blend the product in better, which company has the best product that would ultimately get you the finish that you're looking for. But I decided I'm going to film the entire thing. At the end of this video, if this doesn't work for me, at least I'll know that this is not for me. If you are interested in seeing what the outcome is at the end of this video, then please stay tuned. All right, so let's jump right into this little bit of experiment here. Now, I know some persons are probably going to ask the most obvious question: didn't you do this already when you did your summer makeup tips video? No, I did not. What I did in my summer tips makeup video is that I set my primer with loose setting powder. But for this little experiment, we're only going to be using loose setting powder as a primer. So we're not going to be using any primer at all. So we're gonna see exactly how this looks at the end of this video, and I'm really hoping this looks good because, honey, if this comes out cakey, I get my skin prepped and ready for this bit of application here. So I'm going to go in first with a bit of my Garnier Skin Active Micellar water. This one is the vitamin C. It's basically a all-in-one brightening cleansing water. So I'm going to be using this first just to remove the excess sweat that might be on my face right now. I did wash my face earlier, but then I went in the kitchen to do a little something, so I think a little bit of sweat might still be on my face. So let me just wipe that off with my micellar cleansing water. Next, I'm going to go in with a bit of my CeraVe moisturizing cream. Usual bit that I normally go in with, and I'm going to go in. This will be stroking it like this. I normally go in with a nice rich lather and just lather it over my face. But for this video, I'm going to actually press it. Make sure that she's in. Give your face a couple of slaps if you feel like you need to. Alright, so now here comes the tricky part. Now this little experiment is really because I saw a number of YouTubers were trying it out. I think the person I saw talking about it was Makeup Shayla, and she said that she used a loose setting powder. So I have a number of powders over here, and I'm wondering which one I want to use for this little bit of experiment. I have my Laura Mercier translucent loose powder in. This is a loose setting powder, so this could work. This one is in the shade medium deep. I have, of course, my favorite loose setting powder right now, which is the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime, what is it? Skin Fetch Sublime Perfection. Jesus Christ. Skin Fetch Sublime Perfection Setting. This is the setting powder, so that could also work. I have this one here from Black Opal. This is the True Color Soft Velvet Finishing Powder. Actually, this is a finishing powder. Not sure if I want to use this underneath since it says finishing powder. And of course, you guys know the ever popular Sacha Buttercup powder, and my favorite, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch powder. This is also a loose setting powder. So now I have to figure out which one I want to use as my primer. Let's see now. Okay, you know what? Laura Mercier was my choice. I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier powder. So I'm not going to use a sponge. I'm actually going to lightly dust it on using, this is a Sigma Concealer Kabuki brush. But I like the fluffiness of this and the denseness of it to pack the Laura Mercier powder all over my face to use it as a primer. I'm really going to focus on packing this all over my face and not just in my T-zone area. Yeah, pack her on. definitely have to focus right here. Forehead, and probably take a musty powder, a lot of musty. When you have a big head, you always need a little bit of extra powder. When you have a really large head like me, you need extra powder up here, okay? Okay. In the mirror, and I am looking extremely ashy, but I think that's the whole point of it, that we're supposed to be, you know, drying down the skin a little bit. I'm wondering if I should go in with like a second coat or something. I don't want to overdo it, but I think I want to go in with like just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Okay. If I look overly ashy, it's because I decided to really challenge myself, and I did go over with a bit of the Fenty Honey powder over the Laura Mercier translucent loose powder, because I wanted to see exactly how well I could actually blend a foundation over this if I went in with my normal everyday, well, not everyday, with my normal loose setting powder that I use quite often. I don't use Laura Mercier quite often. As a matter of fact, I haven't used her in quite some time because I'm stuck on Fenty, but I decided to just add a bit of the Fenty over it to see if I could really blend out my foundation over this powder that I'm using as a primer. Okay, so now let's talk foundation. For foundation, I decided to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Foundation. I am the shade Mocha, which is shade 360. Do I have this turned right, or is it supposed to be turned this way? Does it really matter? Okay, so I'm going in first by applying my foundation with wet beauty sponge. My Real Technique beauty sponge that I've been loving. I feel like I was so late on the Real Technique beauty sponge bandwagon, but that's okay. Better late than never. So let me just saturate my sponge with this and just basically press this into my skin. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Let me just blend this all the way in and see how, get a hand mirror and see exactly how this is looking up, like a little bit closer up, because I do have a mirror here, but I want to see what it looks like up close and personal. Okay, I am definitely loving how this is blending out. So far so good. Let me just go ahead and start applying the foundation on the other side of my face. So far so good. I really thought this was gonna look really cakey, but yeah, she's really looking really good. I'm going to I think I went up way too far up underneath my eyes with on this side with the foundation. I'm really trying to not apply any foundation underneath it, because you know I have to apply concealer and loose translucent powder, or loose setting powder I should say, underneath there. So I really try to not put too many things on it. So far so good. Let me just take the excess and basically apply the rest to my really large forehead. See if I'm going to have any sort of creasing or caking up here, but so far this looks really good. This looks really good. And I want to believe the type of foundation probably plays a role in the overall finish of this, because everybody knows that the Maybelline foundation, the Fit Me line, is like amazing. I wanted to use a drugstore brand to create this look, and one of my favorite drugstore brand is definitely Maybelline. Y'all see, I like kill their mascaras in almost all of my tutorials. I love their mascaras. They are amazing. While I'm here talking, I'm just going to be going over all the areas of my face, just to make sure everything is nice and blended. Okay, so now that I've applied the foundation with my sponge, I have to say, right, it really doesn't look bad. Next step is completely optional. You don't have to do this. I feel like the beauty sponge did a really great job of layering the foundation over the loose setting powder. However, this is just an extra step that I do to make sure that my foundation or my makeup overall holds up throughout the course of the day if I do wear a full face of makeup. And that's really because I have oily skin, so I always need to take extra steps to make sure that my foundation lasts all day if I'm going to be wearing it, you know, for like 8 hours or more. I always like to take extra precautions or extra steps, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that my foundation holds up. So I normally like to go in with this Real Technique brush. I can't remember the name of this brush right now, but you guys know how I do it. I'm going to put the names of the products that I use in this video down in the description box, and I'm going to try my best to remember to include the name of this brush because I use it a lot in almost all of my tutorials. Okay, so far so good. I don't see any cracks, any creasing, any cakiness so far. So I'm going to say for this little experiment that the best possible type of foundation that you could probably use over this loose setting powder is definitely a liquid foundation. So far it looks like in terms of things holding together the liquid foundation would work best. I don't know, you guys know I love my black Opal foundation sticks. I don't know how well this type of experiment is going to work with powder as using a loose setting powder as a primer. However, if you want to experiment a little bit with that and say, hey, I have a bunch of stick foundations, or stick foundations are my preferences, then you might want to go in maybe just a little less with the loose setting powder, because I basically doubled. I went in with the Mercier first, and then I went in with the Fenty because I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could actually get this thing to really work. So far so good. I'm going to allow it to dry down just a little bit more to see if I might have some creasing or cracking or caking or anything else, you know, while I'm here doing my eyes. I'm going to create a quick eye makeup look, and then I'm going to come back and do the rest of my face. I'm back, and this is how my face looks, you know, just sitting and doing my eye makeup somewhere between like 15 to 20 minutes. And you see some of my sweat breaking through just above my upper lip and right here around my nose. So what I'm going to do is take my Real Technique brush and just basically smooth out the areas where I see a bit of sweat breaking through. To leave my final thoughts for the end of this video, but let me just go in and complete the rest of my face. I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty concealer. I'm going to use that right here. I'm going to allow my Fenty Beauty concealer to dry down just a little bit before I go in and blend it out. Okay, I'm going to start blending her out. I actually started a little bit. Okay, so now my minute is up. I'm actually going in on both sides and gently pressing the concealer into my skin. Until everything is nice and blended into. Until everything is nice and blended into my skin. The technique that I'm doing takes a while because I don't want to move the concealer around. I really want to just press it in the area where I applied it. So I really just it takes me a good maybe 2 to 3 minutes to get everything blended, because I don't want to move it around. I really want to just press it where I placed it. A bit of cream contour using my black Opal True Color Mineral Matte Cream Powder Foundation. It's this compact foundation right here, and I'm going to go in next and set my under eye concealer and all the other areas where I would have applied my Fenty concealer. I'm gonna dip this right in here and just press everything in just like that. Ooh, wow, that looks really good. So I went in with my banana powder right after, even just a tad bit of it right there while I do my bronzing. So I'm going to go in with my Prime Beauty bronzer. That's what it's called, a bronzer. And this one is the shade Bronzeville. So while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna allow the banana powder to basically bake. You guys know I don't bake. Well, I haven't done the baking thing in a really long time. I just prefer to just press the powder into my skin, but I do believe I'm going to need a bit of backup because I didn't apply any primer. I'm going to need a little bit of backup in terms of powder because I use a powder as a primer. So let me just make sure that we have everything lined up. All my ducks are lined up to make sure that this doesn't look all the way crazy. All right, ladies, gents, I am back, and this is the completed look. Let me just first say this, you know, let me give my final thoughts and say this first. I love how my face looks right now. It's not to say that you should not prime, especially if you have oily skin, but if there are other ways that you could actually control your natural oils, then I would say just go ahead and experiment. I'm also not saying that you shouldn't use primer. I'm just saying that this little experiment turned out really good for me, and I want to say it probably has a lot to do with the products that I use. I'm not by no means suggesting that you should go out and buy all the products that I use. If you can afford it, if you don't have it, you know, try to use what you have and see which one works best if you want to try and experiment and use a loose setting powder as a primer. Secondly, I was a little bit worried about not using, you know, a primer, you know, just using a powder on its own, because, you know, after doing makeup for so many years and, you know, wearing this face that I wear for so many years and knowing how it reacts to certain things and certain products that I have to use in order to get my makeup to last throughout the course of the day, I have to say I was really pleasantly surprised at the fact that this actually looks this good. By the way, I did go in and set the overall look with my Garnier Beauty Elixir. You guys should be familiar with this by now. I use this a lot, my Garnier Beauty Elixir, and that's because I had to pack powder on underneath my foundation and over my foundation. I just wanted to get rid of that overall powdery look, and, you know, just to make it look a little bit more uniformed. So I applied a bit of my Garnier Beauty Elixir, and oh my god, not only do I love what I'm seeing here, is it feels so lightweight. Now, I'm not saying that primers feel heavy. Let me just say that. I'm not saying that primers feel heavy. Most primers are extremely lightweight, and they basically just do what they need to do, and they just melt into your skin, and they do what they need to do to hold up the foundation and concealer and powders, bronzers, etc., everything that you put on your face throughout the course of the day. They do what they're supposed to do, and they do it well. But we're talking about the little experiment that I did just now. Thirdly, would I try this again? Absolutely. And I would probably try it more in a setting where I'd have to wear this longer, because I have been wearing this. I did, you know, go off camera and started to do a few things around the house, and I've been wearing this for at least going on 2 hours now, and I can't even really see anything breaking through this makeup right now. Like, normally I would have a lot more sweat breaking through in this area right here, like just above my eyebrows, and definitely right above here, right above my upper lip. A lot more sweat breaking through in those areas, and I see something just slightly, and it's just very minimal. You can't really see it. The only thing I would actually focus on more when I do try this experiment again is focus a little bit more in this area right here, because I do see a little bit of the product, my foundation fading away, and the product's kind of kicking up a little bit, and that's really because I need to shave my little woman stash. It's not a mustache, it's a woman stash that I have going on right here. So those two things probably might play a role in why this looks a little bit messed up in this area. I probably didn't focus enough on this area right here. That's number one. And secondly, I need to shave my woman stash. If you guys can see it on camera. If you don't, that's great. Let me just go back a little bit more. And finally, I have to say, would I continue doing this? Would I just stop using primers overall? I'm gonna have to say no, because primers play an important role in keeping your makeup in place throughout the course of the day, as they should. What I would say is that every now and then, if I feel like I want to opt out for one or the other, or maybe just basically do what I normally do and apply both of them together, that's what I would do. But I would not suggest to not use primers in your daily makeup routine. However, if you do want to try this little experiment that I did and use a loose setting powder, I should say, not a pressed powder, a loose setting powder as a primer, just to play up with it and see how well your skin works with it, because I'm still playing up with it. I'm going to wear this for maybe another hour or two and see how well it holds up. I probably won't come back on camera because, honey, I am hungry. My belly is making all sorts of noise. I don't even know if y'all can hear it on camera right now, but I'm hungry. Normally I eat before I film, but I was so excited about filming this look today that I just jumped. I just got my lemon water and I just jumped straight into filming this. So I'm loving this. Oh my god, I love this look. I feel like I'm gonna take like 100 selfies right now. 100 selfies, the minimum. That's the minimum, 100 selfies for this look. All right, ladies and gents, that is it for this week's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, please be sure to drop me a comment down in the comment section and let me know if you have any questions about this makeup look that I just created. Also, if you have any makeup questions in general, please go ahead and drop me a comment down in the comment section. And if you also enjoyed this video, please be sure to go ahead and give it a big thumbs up on your way out, and also don't forget on your way out to go ahead and click that subscribe button. Until my next upload, guys, I am on a roll. I've been so consistent, uploading every week. I'm proud of myself. Are you proud of me? Because I'm proud of me. You're proud of me? Because I'm proud of me. All right, thank you guys so much for being here with me once again, and I'll talk to you guys real soon on next week's upload. Bye bye.